Hope we didn't scare you too much with our last video on the great filter. Don't worry, we're coming back down to earth today. The Tesla Model Y has very quickly become one of the most popular electric cars in the world, and it's coming up fast on becoming one of the most popular cars of any kind. The Model Y is actually starting to outsell the Tesla Model 3 in some markets and is in huge demand around the world. There's a lot of hype behind this electric SUV, but the tricky thing is that it's become a little difficult to know exactly what you're getting when you get a Model Y, because the spec sheet has been changing a lot lately, and Tesla aren't really into marketing and explaining to the public what they're up to. It can be hard to keep track of, even for someone like me who reads about this stuff pretty much every day. So in this video, we're doing an update on everything the Tesla Model Y is offering for the summer of 2021. Hey Elonites and Musketeers, welcome to the Tesla Space, where we share the latest news, rumors, and insights into all things Tesla, SpaceX, and Elon Musk. Be sure to subscribe if you're new. Okay, so let's start with the latest and most significant change on the Model Y this year. No more radar sensors. What's the deal with that? Well, every other car on the road that has any kind of adaptive cruise control, lane keep, or collision detection has used radar to decide how close it is to hitting something. It's a reliable system. Radar waves shoot out of the car, they bounce off stuff, and the car figures out its place in the world. Tesla has decided to do away with all of that in favor of running off cameras alone. Basically, the car just looks around and decides the safest action to take. Under the dashboard of your Tesla is a very powerful artificial intelligence computer that can see and recognize everything around the vehicle using 8 digital cameras. The car drives the same way that you do, just by looking and thinking. Unfortunately, that's not gone over so great with the NHTSA, that's the National Highway Traffic Safety Association in America, who have removed a bunch of their official safety ratings from the Model Y. Those lost checkmarks include forward collision warning, lane departure warning, crash imminent braking, and dynamic brake support, for now at least. Hopefully that will all be sorted out soon. The Model Y still does retain all of those features. They've not been removed and they still work, but the problem is that the NHTSA has never assigned these ratings to a car that does not have radar sensors. So they're going to have to redo their entire testing process in a pure vision-based Tesla to make sure that it performs up to standards. Anecdotal from Tesla buyers who have received the new radarless Model Y, we've been hearing mixed reviews. Full Autopilot only works up to a max speed of 75 miles per hour, so you can't speed and self-drive at the same time anymore. And while driving at night, Autopilot can only function if the auto high beam settings is also turned on. And that hasn't gone over so well, mostly because auto high beams on Teslas kind of suck. Overall, people are noticing worse performance from Autopilot in the rain and in the dark, which is not overly surprising given that the car can now only see through digital cameras. On the other hand, in the daylight, the system seems to work great. Owners are noticing that the camera-based Autopilot is actually much more smooth and less hesitant while self-driving. Collision detection and emergency braking seems to work just as well on the new Tesla as it does on the older ones. But it's hard to test this kind of thing in a real-world situation. One NHTSA rating that the Model Y is still holding strong, though, is that 5-star crash safety rating. We know that Tesla makes the safest cars on the road, but it took until 2021 for the Model Y to get its official crash test rating, and it passed with flying colors, particularly in the rollover test, which is very important for an SUV. It's basically impossible to roll this car. Speaking of things that Tesla has removed from the Model Y, you will no longer find adjustable lumbar support in the passenger seat. It's a very oddly specific feature to remove, I know, but the way Elon Musk describes it, he says that Tesla is actually able to look at data that tells them how often the feature is used in the real world, and it turns out that pretty much no one was actually setting a custom lumbar position in the passenger side. So they tossed the adjustment mechanism. You might be wondering just how much cost savings were able to come from removing extra hardware like the radar sensors and the back support adjuster. Well, the bad news is that the price of both versions of the Model Y has actually gone up by a few grand. And I know that looks really bad on paper, but there is something that needs to be considered here, and that's the skyrocketing cost of raw materials, especially the materials needed to make electric vehicles. Take the price of copper, for example. That's nearly doubled over the last 6 months, and copper is an extremely conductive material that is vital to electric car making. There's copper in the wiring, copper in the batteries, the rotors inside the car's electric motors are made from copper. The cost of aluminum and steel are all up as well, not quite as drastically, but it adds up. There's not much that can be done about that. We just have to ride it out and hope the market stabilizes. The nice thing about Tesla is that they are not afraid to change the price often, so if they get the opportunity to bring it back down, they will. Hopefully, at least. I have faith. Anybody remember squeegee kids? I guess it's still a thing in places like Baltimore, but it was made illegal where I live about 20 years ago. Back in the day, the squeegee punks were providing a service because old cars sucked at cleaning their own windows and you needed a little manual input. Nowadays, that's not so much of a problem except for the Tesla Model Y, which still managed to suck at cleaning its own windows. Until now, that is. I know it's a weird point to bring up, but if you spend any time researching this car, you'll notice a common customer complaint is just how ineffective the windshield washer spray heads are. They just don't get the job done. And Tesla has actually solved the issue on the latest version of the Model Y. It now comes with more washer fluid jets, and you won't need to rely on the squeegee kids for a clean windshield. Adding some nice extra features to have, the latest Model Y now comes with double paned glass for the windows. This helps to reduce wind and road noise from outside of the car, and also will improve the efficiency of the heating and cooling system inside the car. Additionally, the side mirrors on the car will now have an auto dimming feature, so you don't get blinded from bright lights coming up behind. Hey, have you heard about our newsletter? Probably. We talk about it in every video, but only because we put a lot of work into it and we think you'd really enjoy it. Link in the description. Go sign up. One of the biggest upgrades on the new Model Y is not something that the average owner would ever see. It's actually in the frame of the car. The rear section of the vehicle frame is actually now die casted by a humongous machine called the Gigapress. So that means that the rear quarter is all one solid piece of aluminum, and previously that same section of frame was around 70 different pieces of material, all welded and bolted and glued together. The casted frame is much faster and cheaper for Tesla to build, while also proving to be stronger and more consistent. That's been a bit of an issue with the Model Y, consistency. Another common owner complaint is the overall fit of the body can be a little cockeyed. Like every time I'm driving behind a Model Y here, I can't help but notice that the rear body panels always look a little bit crooked. Like there's a big gap on one side and a narrow gap on the other. The casted frame section will go a long way towards solving that particular problem. The expanded seating option is one more thing that we've got to mention because, well, when that was first announced, myself and many others were pretty skeptical that it would actually be practical to get 7 seats into a Model Y. It seemed that those extra seats would be next to useless, but now that the 7-seater option is out there in the world, people have been using it, turns out that the third row of seating works pretty damn well. I've seen 6-foot-tall adults hop in the back and be able to sit down in there. Now, obviously, it's not the ideal 7-seater car. The Model Y is no replacement for a van or large SUV like the Model X, but it will do the job if you've committed to this particular car and you really need those 2 extra seats. And that's what's new for the Tesla Model Y in the summer 2021. If you're looking to buy one, use our link in the description down below. Hopefully we've helped a few people with their buying decision and been able to cut through the noise a little bit. Bottom line, this current version of the Y is an incredible vehicle. The combination of practicality and performance really can't be matched. And with these extra refinements that have just been added, it's an easy choice to make. Let us know in the comments below. Are you ready to pull the trigger on the Model Y? Or are you holding out for an even more upgraded version in the future? Don't forget to sign up for the Tesla Space newsletter. We deliver all the updates on Tesla, SpaceX, Elon Musk, and of course Neuralink in a quick, fun, and easy to read package. Link to join is in the description below. It's theteslaspace.com. Once you sign up, be sure to check your promotions tab to make sure our emails are going to your main inbox. If you want to continue to learn about everything regarding Tesla, SpaceX, and Elon Musk, we've got 2 more video options for you on the screen to check out. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up today if you liked it, and subscribe to our channel for weekly content just like this.